Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. We're going to move on to the next project on the Hammer, and that is going to be the torque converter. So I'm really excited about this improvement on the car. It's going to make the car a lot easier to drive. It's going to make the car perform a lot better, not just around town, but probably 60 foot, eighth mile. I reached out to several different torque converter companies. Of course, a lot of them didn't have any interest or just weren't familiar with these torque converters. And as some of you may be aware, this transmission, the 7226, Chrysler ran at a bunch of stuff, and the diesel guys with the older diesels, they run it quite a bit. So there are people that are familiar with this torque converter out there from a performance aspect. But I think, and I did, I tried to contact people that were doing the Chrysler work, but they just, they didn't respond. I only actually had 2 responses. And one of them was this Florida torque converter. And I reached out and told them what I needed, what the car was as far as cam specs, vehicle weight, stuff like that. It's kind of the stuff that helps you determine what torque converter you're going to want. And the factory torque converter I think is going to be right around like 1800 to 2000 stall speed, which this engine doesn't even really start to make power up until about 4000. So it just gives you a big dead spot that you have to climb through, depending on what gear you're in this car to get up into the power band. So we definitely needed to improve that. I've tried 3 different Mercedes torque converters. They all stall out about the same, right around 2000, maybe a little under. So, and that was a CLK 320, an S600 twin turbo torque converter, and then a C55, and essentially no difference between any of those. So I reached out to Florida Torque Converter, and I believe the gentleman's name would be Marcin. I apologize if I say that wrong, but that guy got back to me within 24 hours, and he said, "Yep, I can do it. Here's the price." And so I was like, "Let's do it." Made the payment, and this thing showed up within a week. So that's so far it's a 10 out of 10, man. This guy's been perfect. So I believe he might be the owner, doing a little digging around. And before when I was looking for people to reach out to, I saw that Florida Torque Converter was doing some stuff on eBay, and I did a little digging around on different forums. He's obviously not manufacturer specific. He seems to be familiar with just about everything. And I couldn't find anything negative. This guy, he didn't give me a cut on the price of this unit or anything like that. So I just bought this no different than anybody else would. And he says it's a 3500 stall. Anything over 3000 I'm going to be pretty happy with. So hopefully we'll get that engine to flash up around 3500 or so before we start moving that car. So that would be ideal. But we'll see how this goes. So I'll take you through it from purchase to install, and then my opinion at the end. But this would be really nice to have somebody that's willing to do what it is you want to do and be affordable. This wasn't dirt cheap, and it wasn't stupid expensive. It was right there. I think was a very good price. It was a good deal for somebody to respond instantly and ship something out. So any of you guys that have any kind of performance car, if you're not familiar with torque converters and stall speeds, I would definitely look into it, because you don't even need a performance car to benefit from a torque converter. Manufacturer is not going to ship a car out or design and manufacture a car with an optimal torque converter in it. It's going to be a torque converter designed for just day-to-day driving, lollygag driving, efficiency, all that stuff. But you're never going to get the performance out of your car if it's an automatic like you would with a stall speed set for your engine's peak torque and peak power. So keep that in mind. I think ultimately when you buy this for what it would cost to just pull your transmission out, throw in a higher stall speed unit. It's affordable, I think, for the drivability improvements that you're going to experience. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get the Hammer back into the other shop and throw it up in the air and get this torque converter ripped out. We got this transmission out really easy on this car because there's just nothing much to it. A lot easier than just about any other Benz. Only took me about an hour to get it out. And I would say if you had one out, you should probably go ahead and do the rear main, but this one's not leaking and it's pretty new rear main. Only got a few 100 miles on it, so I'm not going to mess with that at this time. I'm just going to get this torque converter in. And for the most part, you can reuse these seals. It probably makes sense to go ahead and pop a new one in, but I don't have one and it's not leaking, and all this will be back out soon enough, I'm sure. So not doing it. It's been about a month since I got that torque converter in there, and then the weather went to crap and I had to get the car out and get a customer's car on the lift. So I have not had a chance to drive it. I know it's only been a couple seconds for you, but it's been like a month for me. So I'm going to go out and take her for a spin. I can tell already from moving the car over from the other shop to this shop, I'm not going to get the results I wanted out of this torque converter, but hopefully it's an improvement. None of the factory stuff was giving me any improvement. So hopefully this gets me some level of improvement, but we want to go out and get that fluid warmed up a little bit. I did preheat the car a little bit here in the shop, so to get that transmission fluid warmed up. But we'll go ahead and take it around that run that I did with the prior build, and we'll see how this torque converter does. You know, before I start these videos, I just want to apologize for the extremely poor video quality that you're about to witness. This is how I have my phone mounted, and it's just you know, it's not great. It just apparently with this engine, it's just too much vibration. So I'm going to come up with a different solution, you know. So again, I apologize for these videos because they're not great, but obviously I don't know that until after, and I watch it and I'm like, wow, that's pretty bad. But you'll get the gist anyway. But I promise I'll make improvements next time. have it. Step in the right direction, but not exactly where we want to be, not quite. I reached out to Florida Torque Converter and explained to them, what I was getting, and sent them a little short video clip of where it was stalling. Looked like it's about 2,600, which is, like I said, significantly better than what it was, but not quite where I think it would be best. So he agreed. The torque converter wasn't where he thought it should be, without question, no problems. And he shipped me out another one. So you can't beat that. I'm going to go ahead and get that swapped out, and I'll do a part 2 on this, and then do some road testing, and hopefully we'll get a big improvement. Looks like we're about halfway there, so a little bit more, and I think this thing's gonna rip. And that's just kind of the way it goes with hot rodding. When you get like hot rod parts or high performance parts, a lot of times there's just no promises and no guarantees. So you just don't really have an expectation necessarily. Obviously, we wanted 3,500, but when you're modifying parts, you don't always get it. You don't always get it the first time, because those like those intake adapters, man, we went back and forth probably a dozen times to get them, fitted and fitting perfect. So it's just nice to have somebody that's willing to work with you. Because if you don't have somebody that's willing to work with you, then it just becomes a bad experience. So I have no problems pulling that transmission back out and putting another one in, and hopefully it's going to get us another step in the right direction. So expect a part 2 on this, and then I will discuss some other things. I've already got plans for other things, different exhaust stuff, a few different, some cosmetic stuff, some chassis stuff. So I'm gonna get back on this car again and get it, when I sit around and I don't work on it, I get itching to do something to it. So I appreciate you checking the video out, and again, look for step 2 on this, and I think it's going to be a winner. So take care. We'll see you soon.